Artabilities from our. And today they're here to share the new upcoming event. I mean, they've done a recent event which has been very successful. We'll also talk about what they are up to, and we'll also talk about Wings Unlimited and what is it about, who's this for, and who all can participate and who can all join to cheer these real stars. So it's an honor having both of them on this particular platform regularly, because we've started this series of real stars to highlight and appreciate and honor the abilities of people who are disabled, but there's no limit. And I really like the name Wings Unlimited, because there's no stop to it, and there's no stop to these two cheerful ladies who feel that just one event is not enough. So thanks a lot for joining, Dr. Ranjini and Mrs. Lakshmi Ravishankar. So over to you. So can you both discuss about what's happening? How were the previous events? How did the kids feel during the event, and what did you guys feel as an accomplishment? Over to you.
So Lakshmi, you want to start?
No, always Ranjini first. Yeah. Please go ahead. No, it's easier for me. Yeah.
Okay. No, I have to thank Ravi ji and wurktv, right? I mean, you guys have been with us from the beginning. So thank you so much for that. Right from the time I came on in August, and then the last couple of times we've been there. So thank you for having us yet again, Ravi ji. So, gosh, so many things have happened in only 2.5 months, right, Lakshmi? I feel like we've done 2 years worth of work. But, so when we first came, if you remember, Raviji, we had come for the launch of Artabilities for All. And, we had kicked off this initiative as a collaboration between iBAT and SciArtsRUs. And we had featured a handful of artists, differently abled artists from various parts of the world. And then we started the Artist of the Week. We'd been featuring several artists, again, from different parts of the world, visual and performing artists. And then, fast forward really quickly, come to November now. December 3rd is actually the International Day for Disabled Artists. It's celebrated by the United Nations. And so Lakshmi and I really wanted to celebrate the artists and the art. And so we said, why don't we sort of now make this into a larger scale and include more artists and, really commemorate the day. So that's pretty much what Wings Unlimited is. And, and like you said, it's a great name. Lakshmi actually founded the name, and the minute she told me, I was like, yes, this is exactly what we need to call it. So, I'm going to turn it over to Lakshmi to speak a little more about the event.
Thank you, wurktv, and thank you, Raviji. Thank you, Ranjini. I think we keep thanking each other.
I know, right?
I mean, both of us are, I think, we have found a match in this space. I think equally dedicated, passionate, workaholic, and then you can add on and on to it. So I think that becomes easier for both of us to work together. Right. And yes, like Ranjini mentioned, post the launch of our global initiative, Artabilities for All, it's been literally a whirlwind race. I mean, people have been wanting to partner with us, and then we had our artists perform for Dashra, and then the Rotary event happened, and then we sent in entries for the UN UNESCO Shine Your Light Talent Unbound. And out of hundreds of entries, one of our artists from a small town in Rwanda was one of the winners. I mean, that was, I think, Ranjini, you would agree with me if I say that was super encouraging for both of us. And then it said that, yes, we are on the right path. These things kept happening, and then we decided that we should do something for the International Day of the Disabled on December 3rd. And both of us were thinking aloud, and then we came up with this international festival. This is kind of a unique festival of its kind, spanning over 5 days across 4 continents in 8 countries, and where we are having both the visual and the performing artists, going to be with us. And I think I'll not be wrong if I say that who's who is, I mean, the dignitaries are going to be with us for the inauguration. Over to you, Ranjini. I think now you can talk more about the artist.
No, yeah, I think thank you for mentioning some of the other events as well, Lakshmi. I think, Raviji, to Lakshmi's point, besides the Artist of the Week, what the launch has done is actually provided our artists more, sort of ability to work with other organizations. And so, like, besides the few other festivals, and all this is only in 2.5 months. So they've been featured in, two other organizations in their events, and then the UN, and now this event. So I think there's a few different firsts kind of I wanted to mention for the Wings Unlimited event. And if I missed something, Lakshmi, please help me out here. But yes, this is probably one of the first events where we're featuring differently abled artists in one platform globally, online no less. And we also have visual and performing arts, like Lakshmi said. In addition, we also have storyboarders, stand-up artists, painters, dancers, singers, you name any art form, it's here. And then we also have, if you see the guests of honor, we have senators and ministers and mayors and artists and entrepreneurs from various countries. So, we are trying to basically try to create an awareness and have more discussion around providing a sustainable platform for disability and art within the disabled community. So we're hoping that we can start that conversation and really talk about that. So to me, I feel that's a little bit of a first in this particular platform, in an online platform. And besides that, this time we've had many different artists, and then, I will turn this over to Lakshmi as well. But like one of the things that's the first is what we're trying to do for the India Day. We're calling it the Margari Matram. Again, another beautiful name that Lakshmi came up with. So in Chennai, in December, we have what's called the Margari season, which is a music season. For Carnatic music. So this time we're, featuring our artists who are differently abled in what's called Margari Matram. And Matram means change. And we have important dignitaries attending for this as well. I'm going to turn it over to Lakshmi to speak a little bit more to it, and a few others. I mean, there's so many. I don't even know where to go. I'm like all over the place with the programs. It's too many firsts.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ranjini. I think to continue on that Margari Matram, I mean, how that came to happen was a couple of visually impaired girls who are learning music. Casual conversation when I had with them. They were talking about coming December season, how they are going online, and then how they would also like to be invited, or if not, participate, be a part of that, or get somebody who can professionally train them. Yes, they are good singers, but then they need a little bit of fine tuning. So this triggered, and then of course Ranjini and I we said yes, we need to do this. And then we shortlisted a few artists visually impaired and with other disabilities. And then we reached out to them, and they were too happy to be. They started, coming up with ideas, and they formed a small group. What was initially intended to be just singing, it's kind of turning out into a proper concert. And then when we took this to who's who in the Carnatic music, I mean, the singers, the leading singers, they were so happy with it. They said they didn't even want to hear me more. They said, no, I'm here with you, Lakshmi, on that. So they are going to be there for the India tape, and hoping after the Margari Matram, we would get some very senior people from the Carnatic industry who will take them under their wings and tune them. So they dream of really performing in the academy. For the Margari season, performing at the music academy is a dream. So if they can get trained, they can reach there. So we are so happy that our initiative is going to be giving that support to them. Ranjini? about the other artists here.
Another interesting point that Lakshmi makes, in regard to the mentoring, Raviji, besides Carnatic music, another thing that came about recently is while we were reaching out to a few different, dignitaries and people to attend for the event, one of the universities over here in California, Cal State University, a professor reached out and asked if we will be willing to collaborate to have our artists be trained by their students in music, in Western classical music. So I think it's a very similar parallel to what Lakshmi is saying. I think we're looking out now, the next steps, right? We're really looking to give our artists an opportunity to be mentored, if it's in music or dance or art, and either help establish a career for them or give them an opportunity to just go in their art. So those are our next steps. We are getting still many artists reaching out to us from different parts of the world, actually. And in fact, this time we're featuring UK. And it's very interesting how this came about. It's one of those things where when it rains, it pours. It's amazing. So we found artists from UK and a very good artist. Sean Sears has been very important and paramount in bringing the artists together. And so we're excited about featuring artists from UK besides Africa and India, the US and Canada. The artists this time are quite different from the folks during the launch. So we'd encourage everyone to come and attend every single day, support the artists, and hopefully, we can get this conversation going about how we can sustainably do this, and by that we mean, a lot of it, Lakshmi and I are very passionate about this. So we're kind of, figuring out ways in terms of time or resources. And I think if we truly want to scale this up in the future, we need some help from either the government or the private sector or, VCs. So that's kind of what we're looking at, but at the moment, we are very thankful to all our sponsors. I think there's a lot of support we've been getting from our friends and local businesses. And I want to take a minute to thank them all for their faith in us and, the confidence they have in Lakshmi and I for doing this. So unless, Lakshmi has something else to add as well.
No, I have a question. I have a tricky question for both of you, of you ladies. Okay, so a lot of these NGO activities happen as a tick mark activity. One event, हो गया, बस.
Yeah.
Pandemic में कुछ अच्छा कर दिया, बस. What's wrong? What's making you guys go
What's
on
wrong
and
with
on
this?
and on? Why are you guys taking this forward? Why are you ladies not giving up?
How can you give up, right? Because say there's, from my perspective, I'm very passionate about art, right? And SciArtsRUs is very focused on making art and of course science accessible to everyone. And you meet the artists, you talk to them, you see their passion and the positivity that they just they're flowing with positivity, and you talk to them and they're extremely talented and you see it. It's hard to stop. Between the art and the artist, I can keep doing this for ever. I don't know about Lakshmi. It is.
Yeah,
Even
I know to your question, Raviji, this space, the disability space, is so very, what do you say? It's a magnet. So I have been sucked into this for the last 20 years. The more you do, the more you want to be with them. And like, Ranjani rightly said, and like I always keep saying that, for me, the differently able people are true symbols of positive life. I draw a lot of energy from them. And in return, I would want to do something which can turn their life into more meaningful. Oh, there is so much to do. What we are doing is hardly a drop in the ocean, what we have started. We have a long way to go. We'll have a lot more events. And besides, now what we are now doing is giving them the visibility, putting them on the platform, trying to get them networking opportunities. But then going forward, we would want to turn this into a livelihood. And like I said in the beginning, get some professionals to mentor them, and then take them to that level where they become 100% professional. Yes, they have the talent, but then fine tune it. And then, and then, or, get, I mean, if any corporate houses, watching this interview, I would request a corporate house to support us. And when we go to them with these artists' work, help them and then turn it into a livelihood for them. Anjali?
Yeah, one more thing that I kind of, sort of want to make everyone aware of, and I know it's been talked about, is the whole aspect of inclusivity, right? I mean, clearly, Lakshmi's organization is inclusion beyond abilities, and that's one of the things I think, we're trying to also do. So, like, sort of make sure that we have the artists included with everyone else, like, not have them mix with the abled, not just the disabled, like have them just mix with everyone else, the art and the artist first and the disability next, right? So the whole aspect of inclusivity and diversity, and that's something over here as well in the United States. I think it's a very important thing for everyone to embrace, especially in the arts. So I'm hoping that this will also give rise to more awareness about that. Um, yeah, so I mean, those are, to me, those two things can keep on, letting me keep doing this for like ever.
Okay. The next question. This initiative would have been only limited to let's say Chennai or just Tamil Nadu, and when both of you got together, maybe Tamil Nadu and US, parts of US. But how was the journey where this is slowly going viral? This is slowly spreading across. This initiative is spreading across the world now. So how did this happen?
Lakshmi, you want to go?
No. You go ahead.
No, I think, I don't even remember how I got in touch with Prince, actually, honestly, from Rwanda. So once we started with Prince, somehow, I think, see, that's also the power of social media, right? When we go live and we're all over the place in so many of the groups and Facebook pages and YouTube channels, people have reached out on their own to us a lot, actually. And then once one artist reaches, the word gets out. And then before you know it, like I was saying, when it rains, it pours. And like at this point, sometimes I feel like I was even telling Lakshmi yesterday, like all of a sudden in one day, 8 different artists who've reached out saying we want to be part of your event. So yeah, that's pretty much how it happened, Raviji. I got in touch with somebody in the UK, and now it's like, there's a lot of people, and we have a very eminent artist from the UK, Alison Lapper, and she's very accomplished. And she has now, promised to put us in touch with other parts of Europe, including Finland. So I think this is how it happens, when people are convinced what you're doing is good and noble, like they want to go out of their way to help. So it's just a question of time before I think more countries and more continents will join. So we're hopeful, that this can get more traction.
And to Ranjini's point, even for the inauguration, we have an artist from Austria.
Right.
And all that to continue with the African Connect. Even I think I mentioned it in the first interview also that just with the flyer, 12 NGOs from across Africa reached out to us.
Right.
And now there are a couple of artists from South Africa, Malawi, and Mozambique. They want to be with us and they want their artists to get featured. So
Right.
slowly, like you rightly said, it is going viral, but going viral in a very positive way. And both
Exactly.
of us are happy to support and then do this.
I think we need a little more help. I think, like Lakshmi said, like both from the corporate sector, and also like I think to scale up, we really need more people who would help us scale up in a very big way, because the two of us can. There's only 24 hours in a day, and there's only the two of us. So hopefully, after this interview, we'll get some more people to help us scale this up to a greater extent.
Super.
We really look forward if somebody could.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think that is very much required. More hands would always be helpful to sustain this
Right.
particular initiative. So your next question, about what is this event about? Can you explain in detail for the audience so that they can join? Who is this for? When is it? So that we also have an agenda displayed.
Right. So Lakshmi, you wanna take it or?
Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, if Raviji, if you could show the flyer, then maybe both of us could speak to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the flyer on.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, you will not be able to see it. So yeah.
So Lakshmi, maybe I'll just like take the first few days and then I'll let you take over the rest. But essentially, it's a 5-day.
No, just go ahead, Ranjani. It's just
Okay.
fine. You can quickly finish it off. I think, yeah.
It's basically a 5-day event from the 3rd of December to the 7th. We decided to do the inauguration on the 3rd because 3rd is the, International Day of Disabled Artists. And so we're kicking off on the 3rd. There's a lot of different time zones. So our social media partner, Ishita Media, Keshav, a very good friend, he's being very kind. He's going to restream. All of these will get restreamed because, there's multiple time zones. So we're going to go early in the morning so we can catch the audience in India, and then we'll restream in the evening so we can catch the audience in the United States and elsewhere. So
and also, sorry to interrupt, also
yeah,
Africa. Yeah, you have.
And Africa, exactly.
Yeah.
So first will be the inauguration. So essentially, we'll have all the dignitaries on that day as well, the guests of honors, and then we will introduce them. We'll get them talking about this. Well, the hope is that we'll get them talking about the whole initiative, the need to create the sustainable platform, and sort of from a political standpoint, from an artist standpoint, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, we want to get some discussion going. And then we'll feature a few artists from every country, just like a sampler of what you can expect the next several days.
It's a teaser kind of a thing.
Right, like a teaser. And then on the 4th, we are featuring artists from Africa. 3 countries, right, Lakshmi, from Africa?
Yeah. Rwanda, Kenya, and Uganda.
Right. And again, yeah, go ahead, Lakshmi.
No, I mean, sorry to interrupt. While in Africa, we are really having an inclusive dance performance.
That's true.
That is a highlight of the African Day.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And we have, a few eminent personalities on that day also providing us support from various parts of Africa, our guests of honors. And then on the 5th of December will be North America. So we're featuring a lot of artists from the United States. And then we have one artist from Canada. Over there, to me personally, I think I wouldn't point to one particular artist, but I think there's a lot of variety now. And especially besides, dance and singing, we have a storyboarder who I'm looking forward to. She basically does a lot of animation and movies, short films. So I'm seriously looking forward to that because that's quite different. And also we have a kirtan singer, or kirtan singers actually. It'll be very interesting to see their performance as well. And then we don't want to miss Chiradeep from Canada. He's an excellent singer. You definitely, I don't know. It feels unfair to not, listen to any of the artists. I think everyone should tune into everyone and listen to every single artist. And then we already talked about Margari Matram, the India Day. But I think, Lakshman, did you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry to interrupt again. In the Margari Matram, we are not only having Carnatic music, but we are also having Bharatanatyam concert by visually impaired group of boys and girls. Please, all of you tune in. I mean, not only for Margari Matram, but for all the days. But this event, especially for the South Indians, they will find it really, really interesting. Because you have Carnatic music the first hour, and then the second hour you're going to have Bharatanatyam by the visually impaired.
Yeah, and that's going to be pretty incredible. I'm actually really looking forward to that event as well. And then finally on the 7th, we'll have artists from the UK. And we have a very special guest who's agreed to come on our show. He's Mr. Peter Hull. He's basically a gold medalist. He's a British Paralympic gold medalist, and he's going to be in our event. And the artists, they're incredible. We have a dancer. We have a a stand-up artist, and we have a few singers and a guitarist. So I think it's going to be like there's so much variety. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait myself, to sit back and enjoy all these performances. Although we've been putting it together, it's like I want to just sit back and enjoy it. So I really hope everyone will tune in and support the artists, and and hope we can continue doing this in the future.
Okay. So, for the people who are not disabled or who do not have anybody in the family who are disabled, why should they join? What is the expectation? How can they support this particular initiative? Maybe if you can, throw some light on that, the people who are audience who are watching this, can, take initiative to, spread the word out.
Raviji, I've been sorry, Ranjini. I just add a word to it, and then you can continue on this.
Sure.
I've always been saying that everybody likes to be recognized. I always mention that, and then even the differently abled also need this recognition. They need this encouragement. They need that they are able. So, what is the best way you can do that? How can you give them that? Tune in, send a lot of positive comments, encouragements, try and see if you can help them in some remote way.
Yeah.
Like how they got bookings for Dashera and then the Rotary. So many viewers who tune in. See how you come up, you reach out to us, saying that we want to encourage them. We would want them in our event, or we would like to support them. We would like to suppose for for higher education, for higher training. So many ways. This is a way I mean, I would expect or I would hope the viewers would pitch in and encourage. Ranjini, correct me if I'm wrong.
No, I think I totally agree with you, Lakshmi. One point I wanted to kind of sort of like a perspective that I wanted to give everyone is that, this is about the art, and then it's about the artist, and then it's about the ability. So I think for able-bodied folks, I think the thing to think about it is not, I know it's being celebrated on International Day of Disabled Persons, but, think about it as an art event rather than think of it as art by the disabled, because ultimately we're all here to enjoy the art form, whether it's music or or visual arts. So if we think of it that way, I think everyone will not feel very differently about this event. In fact, you can be more inspired and get more positivity by learning a little bit about these artists and their challenges and how they've overcome it. So yeah, anyway, that's my 2 cents.
What are the 5 ways you somebody who can help you and Dr. Ranjani and Lakshmi in making this successful, making this sustainable? 5 ways to help you in different ways.
I can think of 2 at least right now.
Yeah, name the 2 and let me see if I can add on to it.
Lakshmi and I talk like how many times in a day, Lakshmi? I don't even know, I've lost count. But this is one of the topics we talk about all the time. So I think, and correct me, Lakshmi, if I'm wrong, but I think definitely we need to scale this up. We need resources, we need financially speaking, right? Like we said, we want to create a livelihood for the artists eventually. So we want to have real, a real platform, and eventually post-COVID have a live platform. So we want to make this sustainable for us and for the artists. And then manpower, right now it's really Lakshmi and us. We have a good team, for our flyer and our video editing and things like that. But it'll be nice to have a nice team, cohesive team that's always there to just count on and to help us scale up. That's kind of what I feel. I don't know what Lakshmi thinks. If there's any other areas you would want some help with.
One is livelihood, 2 is resources, and 3 again professionals who can take them under their wings and then train them. And I think basically not 5 right now. I think we can think of 3 and maybe add 2 more to it as we grow.
One thing I was thinking, Raviji, once COVID's over, right? We really want all the artists to meet. Like want to have symposiums in different parts of the world every year, and we want the artists to actually come there and meet. So that's once again, or if we want to have the artists tour, different countries, and we need to get visas made for them and things like that. So those are all, I know it's a little bit away,
Yeah.
but those are all areas we can also get help with. So.
So talking about finances, we will also talk about the team. But talking about finances, what is the minimum amount, they can sponsor to, for both of you to make this event successful and sustainable? Any specific minimum amount, or they can, an individual, I mean, keeping the corporates aside, but an individual, if they want to contribute, what is the minimum amount they can start with? Or there's absolutely no limit or no restrictions?
Yeah, I think there's no limit, is what I feel. I don't know, Lakshmi, what you think. I mean, the
Yeah.
upper limit, there's no upper limit, right? I mean, it's totally dependent on, if it's an individual, it's totally dependent on their affordability. But, as a corporation or sponsors, we can come up with some, I think, packages to, depending on how we want to take the event going forward. I think we have some ideas, right, Lakshmi? Like we want to feature our artists for longer gigs, maybe more presenting their art in a gallery exhibition and things like that. So those will all, it's variable what we would need for that. But yes, anything will be helpful, at this point. And based on what we get, we can scale up accordingly. Because right now it's just us. We're like putting in our, our resources, whatever we're getting from our sponsors, so.
Yeah. So yeah, talking about manpower, I mean, the things which I can, the resources, the things which I can think of are, somebody who can spread the word out, somebody who can assist both of you to, work on, making sure the event goes well, and somebody who can look for sponsors, work behind the scenes, and spread the word out, and check out if something can help in this particular initiative. And
also PR, right?
Yeah, I was about to come there. Media coverage.
Yes. The media coverage would be a little,
Yeah,
it'll be helpful to spread
it
the
will
word.
help.
yeah,
Absolutely.
so that's also very important, because I've seen many
Yeah.
organizations, small organizations, go to a larger scale just because of a small article which came into media, and it caught everybody's
Exactly. Exactly.
attention.
Absolutely.
So that's very important. So
That
Yes.
yeah,
would help.
somebody who can share, spread the word out, sponsors, help you in organizing the event, watch the event, and encourage the art and the shows which are going on. And I think you should also have a team of people who are you know creating something which can build a sustainable revenue model for the artists,
Correct. Correct.
on this
Exactly.
particular thing. Employ them, or engage them with some revenue aspect, so that they
Correct.
can take care of themselves. I think that would be a larger, the final destination for them, to
Yes.
make them self-sufficient, where they can earn themselves.
I mean, sort of on the resource note, I know we're probably running out of time, but I just wanted to mention that we, kicked off a fundraiser as part of Thanksgiving, in the United States. It just got over. We've started a Giving Tuesday fundraiser. So if folks, want to donate towards this cause or any of the initiatives, either iBAT or SciArtsRUs is doing, we're all open to any kind of support that anyone can give us. So, thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So anything else you want to mention about the event before we wind up this particular talk?
We'll be going live on YouTube and on our Facebook page and a few other pages. So, people can go and like our Artabilities for All Facebook page. You'll get updates on the event and the live feed. Yeah.
Super.
The time zone, uh, it's all there on the flyer. And, it's a 5-day event.
Yes.
So again, one of its kind 5-day event, friends. Do join, do spread the word out. I personally request you to join, to encourage all the artists here. Everybody is great in terms of their own talents. Do spread awareness. Do encourage them. do since it's also on YouTube, if possible, join along with your family to watch this particular video, so that the entire family, it is not only you who should feel good about it, or actually join and then participate. So it's always good to see it as a family, the wife, husband, and the kids, your grandparents, everybody, be part of. So if you've got a large screen with internet, please watch it on a large screen to encourage them. And also,
Right.
if you're willing to volunteer, you've seen the previous organization, you've seen how Dr. Ranjani and Mrs. Lakshmi Ravishankar are dedicated about this particular mission. If you want to volunteer in this particular category, do reach out with them. Everything matters. Your half an hour or 1 hour, without financial commitment, also will make a lot of difference for both of them. You would also be part of this particular organization. And if you are working in a corporate, do share this particular video, this particular initiative with your CSR team, or your HR. Some of these fundings might really help both the organizations, your employees, and this thing. And all the organizations right now will need a lot of blessing, because their business has to sustain, and no other blessings would be as strong as being part of this particular initiative. So
That's
yeah, thank you, friends, for joining in, and thanks a lot, Dr. Ranjani and Lakshmi ji, for taking this initiative forward without giving up. Now I'm confident this is just not a one-time event, and you guys are pretty serious. So yeah, keep going, and all the best, all the very best.
Thank you, Ravi ji,
Thank
for
you.
your vote of confidence. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Having us. You too.